Carrie Hennessy, and welcome back to the dirt. The chill of fall is in the air, which means it's a fantastic time to finish those outdoor projects you've been putting off all summer. Remember way back in spring when I did the episode on our We Plant, You Plant design program? Let's refresh our memories. Using the space in front of the nursery's retail office as an example, I showed how you can renovate a section of your landscape by sending measurements, photographs, and a base map to us with a completed questionnaire. This information will allow us to create a custom design for you to install using Johnson's nursery plants. This is a prominent focal point of our nursery that customers see every time they pull into the parking lot. So I wanted to transform it into an eye-catching display that would highlight our expertly grown plants. First, I'll show you how we got the area ready over the summer. Then I'll demonstrate how easy it is for you to complete an area like this at home, with the help of Johnson's Nursery, of course. Our first task was to remove the blue Japanese white pine that had overgrown the space available. We could have just cut it down and removed the stump, but we wanted to save the tree. This was no easy undertaking. First, we needed to tie it up, excavate the sides, and wrap the exposed root ball with burlap, twine, and wire to keep everything intact. Then we brought in a machine and lots of manpower to lift it out of the hole. We put mats over the brick pavers to protect them from the weight of the large tractor. Slowly and steadily, we transported the pine to its new home in our holding yard, available for sale. Next, I needed to convert my measurements to a base map and create the design for our new display garden. I selected plants that will tolerate bright morning sun and shade from the building in the afternoon, in an assortment that will ensure color spring through fall. But I didn't want the new plantings to contrast with what was already there, so I kept it simple with a slight Asian twist. And I knew the focal point of the bed would still be a beautiful evergreen for year-round interest, but this time, one that would fit the space better. My choice for the evergreen specimen was a 6-foot tip-top Swiss stone pine, a cultivar that is exclusive to Johnson's Nursery. It has lovely blue-green needles and a nice narrow form. It may reach up to 20 feet tall, but it will only spread to about 10 feet wide, making it perfect for the space. But it was too big for me to install myself, so I enlisted the help of one of our landscape installation crews. So now I have a beautiful tree installed without breaking a sweat, and a clean pallet to start installing the rest of the plants. One more change I made was removing most of the stone mulch and landscape fabric, and I pulled up some of the old metal edging and redirected it so it curved in towards the building. There is still stone mulch under the eaves where we don't get any rain and nothing will grow. Empty sleeves allow us to slip in potted plants that we can water by hand for more interest. I also left a small area of stone mulch just as an accent and to help tie in with that Asian garden feel. Now let's get started with our first step, laying out the plants. I drew the design to 1/4 inch scale, meaning 1/4 inch on the design equals 1 foot in the actual bed space. Using a tape measure and some spray paint, I will locate where the plants should be placed. Always lay out the plants first before installing in case you need to adjust the placement. Just because it looks one way on paper doesn't always mean it translates the same on the ground. Lay out trees and shrubs first, then your perennials. The plants are set where I think they look best, allowing for mature spreads. Now it's time to begin planting. I'm going to start in the same order I laid the plants out, shrubs first, then perennials, because it's easier to dig big holes first than the little ones. You want a hole that is about twice as wide as the root ball of the plant, but not quite as deep. If you are installing the plants in an area with existing stone or bark mulch, place a piece of burlap or a tarp next to the hole to place the soil on so it doesn't make a mess. Gently remove the shrub from the container and slide it out at a slight inverted angle. Be careful not to lose soil if the roots aren't well established yet. When you set the shrub in the hole, make sure the root ball is about 1 inch above the surrounding grade for proper drainage. It's always better to be a little high than putting the plant too low. Add some amendments like organic compost, peat moss, or screen topsoil, especially if the area has clay, rocks, or is very compacted. Use a slow-release fertilizer like NutriPacks to reduce the risk of over-fertilizing. Place the unopened packets about 6 inches deep in the hole next to the root ball. Digging holes for the perennials will seem really easy after completing the shrub installation. Follow the same formula, digging a hole twice as wide but not quite as deep as the root ball. If the roots of the plant are very dense and have started to circle the outside or clump at the bottom, tease the roots with your fingers to encourage them to grow out again. Backfill the hole about halfway with existing soil, then add your amendment mix to top it off. We also have smaller NutriPacks that are perfect for perennials and will last about 1 year, just enough to get them established next year. Our original garden had some small boulders incorporated into the bed. No need to get rid of these. I have included the stones in the new design, and they will help blend and anchor the new plantings in with the rest of the bed. Once you have all the plants in the ground, apply 2 to 3 inches of a good shredded bark mulch to maintain moisture, prevent weed growth, and to protect the roots through winter. I'm using a shredded bark mulch that's just a mix of maple and oak, but you can use whichever kind you like. I prefer to use the bark mulch over stone mulch because it's better for the plants in that as the bark breaks down, it actually puts nutrients back into the soil. Plus, nothing looks as good in the spring as a nice fresh layer of bark mulch. And as the plants start to grow and fill in more, you won't have to add as much every year until eventually it'll just be to add maybe a little bit of color. Water the plants in deeply after you have finished mulching so it doesn't create a mess. Even though I'm planting in the fall, it doesn't mean the plants are done drinking for the season. Hopefully, Mother Nature will give us a hand with this, but I will check the plants that were in containers every 3 days and the large pine tree every 5 days to see if they need water. Continue to do this until the ground freezes. The final touch in our garden is a large concrete urn under the eaves where we don't get any rain. We can water it by hand when necessary. I filled it with plants that are perfect for fall and will be a cheery welcome to visitors at the nursery. I hope today's episode has shown how easy it can be to give your landscape a facelift, especially with the right plants for your particular site. If you think you're ready to tackle your yard now, or you want to get a head start on the next season, go to our website to download the We Plan You Plant packet, or stop in at Johnson's Nursery in Menomonee Falls or Johnson's Gardens in Cedarburg. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Carrie Hennessy, and please tune in next time to get the latest dirt.